Welcome back to Good Day Columbia. It is 8:09. Now, if you tried to access Wikipedia this morning, you won't get too far. That page right there is what you have probably been seeing all morning long. Now, that's because that site and others are in a blackout protesting SOPA, the Stop Online Piracy Act. And here to explain this revolutionary protest is the owner of that computer store in Irmo, Stephen Miano. Stephen, thank you for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
It's always good to have you every Wednesday for our Tech Talk. You know, I'm the average Joe. What is SOPA?
SOPA, the Stop Online Piracy Act. SOPA is basically a bill that is up for a vote that restricts the ability for certain websites to disseminate potentially illegal content. That's on the cover, that's what it is. What that basically means is if I've got a website and I'm putting out pirated TV shows or music or software or whatever, that Congress can block it.
Oh my goodness.
And part of the real issue here,
right.
And people are, I mean, they're in an uproar.
Oh, absolutely.
Over 7,000 websites being blacked out today in protest to this.
And speaking about people being in uproar, you know, taking to our Watch Fox Facebook page, we post a question on there, and we do have one person who talks about how, you know, Daxana Rushton says that this is like censoring. She says that it's following in the footsteps of a communist country, censoring people's information. Are we possibly looking at something going in those lines?
Well, you know, the Great Firewall of China has been mentioned more than once in reference to this bill. And there's actually two bills. There's SOPA and PIPA, House and Senate. They both have their own versions of that. Very possibly. I mean, these bills basically give the federal government the ability to block websites at will based on a series of requirements. You know, if somebody says, hey, my content is being violated by this website, shut them down. Part of the problem, though, is a lot of the verbiage in here really makes it very vague.
Gotcha.
And people really don't want the federal government to dictate, you know, what websites I go to. Some people say that might even be an infringement of free speech. Right. And there's some pretty strong arguments for that. So yes, people are in an uproar, and she makes a very good point. I mean, this is exactly what is happening in some other countries. China is a really good example. The Great Firewall of China, they can basically block whatever they want, be it domestic or offshore stuff if there's a website in another country that has content that you don't like. So yeah.
And you know, speaking of content here, we are a society based on the internet, completely on the internet. You know, could this possibly show like something where it's time to head on back to hard books to get information?
Back to the Stone Age before smartphones?
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's a really good question. I think resoundingly the answer is no. I mean, in about 10 years, we've become more dependent on the internet. We adopted the internet as a utility faster than we did television, radio, or toilet paper.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's everywhere. Not toilet paper.
Good way to put it. Right.
So
right.
I don't think that people are going to want to take a step back. When we have sources of information like Wikipedia, sources of entertainment like YouTube and the ICANN has Cheeseburger Network and all of these game sites that are down today in protest for this, I don't think people are going to want to take a step back. I mean, we are dependent on the internet. And that's not always a good thing, you know, but there is a ton of good information, and part of it is because the internet was based on the ability to freely and openly publish your content.
Gotcha. Now, those who want to push this SOPA legislation talks about how they want to stop the flow of revenue to rogue websites. Now, this coming from Representative Lamar Smith, the Texas Republican who heads the House Judiciary Committee, talks about to stop the flow of revenue to rogue websites and ensures the profit stays here in America. How will they be able to differentiate things, especially if it does come into play?
Well, and that's part of the problem, and please, Congress, don't take this the wrong way, but the people who are putting out this content are smarter than you. And I mean it with love in my heart. You know, this is a subset of culture that, you know, these are innovators. These are people who invent the technologies that you're going to try and use to stop the technologies that they're inventing. Now, resoundingly, everybody that I have spoken to who is against SOPA, they're not advocating piracy. And that's something that Congress really needs to get into their skulls. This isn't about stopping piracy. This is about curtailing freedom and free speech. I mean, a lot of the people who even had a hand in writing the SOPA bill, the Business Software Alliance, GoDaddy, and others, have reversed their position because SOPA really misses the mark in stopping online piracy. Piracy is bad. we need to piracy bad, internet good, and Congress needs to realize that. If they're going to work towards curtailing piracy, they need to go about it another way.
Stephen, thank you so much for that. And of course, we have a complete list of the websites that are participating in the blackout. If you want to check them out, simply log on to midlandsconnect.com/GDC, and you'll see who is taking part of it. So if you see a blacked out screen today, just know they're taking part of this protest. Well, coming up on Good Day Columbia, American Idol is back. It premieres tonight right here on WACH Fox, and we thought it very fitting